Hello students, welcome to a brand new video lesson by Notebook. Before we start with today's lesson, let me tell you a little story. Rakhi had gone to her native village for her holidays. There, she saw something peculiar. At the local dairy, a group of women were pouring milk into earthen pots and swirling a heavy stick in it using ropes. She asked her mother what these women were doing. Her mother replied that they were separating butter from milk. Rakhi was surprised. How could you separate something that could not even be seen? So student, in today's lesson, we will study this very concept of separation of the components of a mixture. The simplest form of separation of substances is handpicking. Handpicking is used when there are smaller number of impurities and they are large in size. Have you seen your grandmother shake rice in a container to pick out the stones? This is an example of handpicking. Threshing and winnowing is another method of separating grain from the husk. In paddy fields, there are numerous grains on a single stalk. These stalks are removed, put on the ground and beaten to free the grain from them. This process is called threshing. Now that we have separated the grain from the stalk, we need to remove the husk. For this, the farmer takes the mixture to a raised platform and slowly allows it to drop from a height. The heavier grain falls straight down, while the lighter husk is carried a bit further by the wind. This process is known as winnowing. Now, we come to the most common method of separation, sieving. In sieving, the mixture is passed through a sieve so that the larger particles are left behind. Sieving can only be used if the particles of the mixture are of different sizes. We use sieving to separate tea leaves from tea. In industries, the process is used to remove pebbles from sand and husks or stones from wheat. For the next method, let us do a little experiment. Take a glass of water and add a quantity of sand in it. Allow the mixture to stand undisturbed for some time. You will see that the sand slowly settles down at the bottom of the glass. This is called sedimentation. Now if you carefully tilt the glass, the clear water on top will pour out without disturbing the sand at the bottom. This is called decantation. However, decantation cannot be used to remove all the water from the glass without risking the sediments mixing up again. So now we take a funnel and fix a filter paper inside it. Then we can pour the remaining solution through the funnel. The water passes through it and collects in a vessel below while the sand particles are left behind on the filter paper. The quality of filtered liquid depends on what kind of filter paper was used. Some papers might block large impurities like sand but allow very fine particles like dirt or silt to pass through. To remove them, we need even finer filter paper. In all these processes, we have dealt with mixtures in which the different particles can still be physically distinguished, or heterogeneous mixtures. But what about substances in which the particles mix completely? Take a glass of water and dissolve a spoonful of table salt. This is called a homogeneous mixture, as after mixing, you cannot see the salt particles anymore. Filtration or sedimentation cannot help in this case. Here, we need to perform evaporation. The vessel containing the mixture, salt water in our case, is heated on a burner, and once the entire liquid is evaporated, the salt is left behind. This process is used in coastal villages to obtain salt from seawater, using the sun to heat salt water stored in shallow open pits. Now, by evaporation, we may obtain the salt dissolved in water. But what about the purified water that has escaped as vapor? In order to obtain the water back in liquid state, we need to condense its vapors. In the previous example, put a dish containing ice some distance over the boiling vessel. The vapors will condense from the cold ice and re-liquefy to give water in the form of droplets on the bottom of the dish. By collecting these droplets, we can obtain pure water. You will learn in your later classes that this process is known as distillation, and it removes almost all possible impurities. Now that we have seen so many ways of separating the components of a mixture, answer this. Do you think a given volume of water can dissolve any amount of substance? Of course not. If you continue adding salt to a glass of water, 1 spoon at a time, there will be a stage where no more salt will dissolve in the water. In such a stage, the solution is said to be saturated. By heating the solution, we can add some more amount of salt to the saturated solution. However, this again settles at the bottom of the vessel when it cools. With this, we come to the end of today's lesson. We will see you soon with a new lesson on another chapter. Until then, Team Notebook wishes you goodbye.